we can now start with construction of our facility. And while construction is going on, we have to prepare the following documents. Environmental Protection and Enhancement Program, or EPEP. Second, Social Development and Management Program, or SDMP. And then we have to secure other permits from other government agencies. And for a location where there are natives or indigenous peoples, we have to get the free and prior informed consent, as mentioned earlier by Atty. Penarroyo. In Palawan, we have natives there called Magbanwas and Palawans. And we have to respect the rights. We have to get clearance from them before we can enter. And then, after construction and getting all these documents, we are now allowed to operate because we are given a document called Mineral Processing Permit. And then we can start operation. And when operation is going on, we have to prepare another document called Final Mine Rehabilitation and Decommissioning Plan, which means we have to come up with a program on how we will return the areas that we have temporarily stored to its original state, or to a state better than the original. Okay? During the old law, before 1995, it is called abandonment plan. And companies are only required to come up with that 5 days before closure. Now, who can forecast what is closure? It depends on the economics of the business. So, now in the new law, it is required that if there is fund or budget for rehabilitation, it should be placed in a government bank, starting on the 3rd year and for the next 7 years, until it is accumulated to that amount. So that, anytime, one reason or another, the company quits operation, there is already money in the bank that can be used for the rehabilitation of the area. So that's one good point of our Philippine mining law. And then with mining, maybe you didn't know that open pit mining is only a temporary disturbance. And rehabilitation of that area is already covered by a document required by the law, which is called FMRTP, Final Mine Rehabilitation and Decommissioning Plan. Okay? This is our plan. Coral Bay Nickel Corporation operated starting in 2005 and now considered as the world's, not the Philippines, the world's most successful hydrometallurgical processing plant operated by Filipino engineers. Okay? That applies the technology called high pressure acid leaching. The company spent about $500 million to put up this facility, and then its capacity at present is the production of 25,000 tons of nickel annually and 2,500 tons of cobalt annually in a product which is intermediate in sulfide form, not yet final product. I will explain later. Okay? We are located in the southern part of Palawan, which is at the western side of the country, in a place called Barangay Rio Tuba, Municipality of Batarasa, Province of Palawan. And we are inside the mining area of Rio Tuba Nickel Mining Corporation, which has been operating since 1978. Okay. This is a typical cross-section of a mining mine, a nickel mine, like Rio Tuba Nickel Mining Corporation. The bedrock, which is the original source, is at the bottom, and there is a middle portion comprising 2 layers, which are the saprolitic and the luminitic column. Laterals, and you have the topsoil. Rio Tuba Nickel Mining Corporation only mined the high-grade saprolite. The high grade is 2% and above nickel, and then it's about less than 20% iron. And then they sell this to smelters abroad for conversion to ferronickel alloys using pyrometallurgy. Okay? Now what about the limonites at that time? which has to be removed before they can get saprolite. The limonites at that time were stored around the area and were considered mine waste because it is low grade, lower than 20%, 2% nickel, and higher than 20% iron. Okay? Now, when the HPAL technology came in, this low grade material became acids, became valuable. And these materials are what they are now processing. Kung baga sa niyo, sapal na, napigaan pa. Okay? So, very simple comparison, ano? Dapat natapos mo pala. Kasi later on, pwede parang pigilan pa yun. Kasi hindi rin pa natitira laman at saka values. That is when we enter the picture. Coral Bay Nickel Corporation using the TSPAL technology. So, these are the typical mineralization of the different layers. At the bedrock, we call peridotite, and then it becomes serpentine. It is a combination of ferro-magnesium silicate. Kaya tinatawag na ultra-mafic rock. Have you heard that? Ultra-mafic rock. Why? Because Ma is magnesium, Fe is iron. Kaya ultra-mafic rock. Okay? Now, with tropical rains and sunshine, okay, these are segregated into two layers, which are the garnierite, magnesium silicates, and then the limonite, which are the iron silicate. Limonite further is weathered to goethite, and that is the mineral where nickel and cobalt are staying in solid solution. Which means our nickel and cobalt in our place are not discrete minerals. They are staying as solid solutions in the crystals. Crystal lattice of goethite. Which means we have to destroy the crystal lattice before we could recover the cobalt and nickel. And we can only do it by using acid, by leaching out with acid. Okay? And then, of course, the upper part of the topsoil. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Rio Tuba nickel mining is interested only with the saprolites. Okay? And we, Coral Bay Nickel Corporation, are interested with the limonites. So everything, our sources of values, not only for our countries, but also for our communities, and for us, all Filipinos. Okay. So, Coral Bay Nickel Corporation produces a product called mixed sulfides that contains 55% nickel and 5% cobalt using the HPAL technology from materials that used to be called mine waste or of no value that contains 1.2% nickel and 0.1% cobalt. What happens to our product? Our product is sold to our sister company in Japan for refining to final pure nickel and cobalt metals. And nickel is used as a major alloying element in the manufacture of an important product called stainless steel. Okay? Stainless steel is generally 70% iron, 18% chromium, 12% nickel. Okay? This is a simplified flow sheet of our operation. Low-grade material or mine waste are fed to an equipment called autoclave. When you say autoclave, you will remember the hospital, di ba? May mga autoclave doon, di ba? To sterilize the equipment and what else. Our autoclave here is operated at 240 degrees centigrade. Okay? At 40 atmosphere pressures. Into the autoclave, we fed sulfuric acid and steam. Okay? So it is the sulfuric acid, 98%, that will dissolve everything from solid to liquid. And it is the steam that produces an added pressure so that the liquid H2O will not evaporate. Because what is the boiling point of water? 100. And we are operating at 240. If there is no overpressure, it becomes a gas. So that's the purpose of steam. Okay? And for a period of about 90 minutes, okay, everything is dissolved. And then, after going through stage neutralization from pH 2 to pH 4, the other metals are precipitated and only nickel and cobalt remains in solution as nickel cobalt sulfate. Okay, remember, when did we start? We started as oxides, solid. After the autoclave, it becomes liquid, sulfate, because of the sulfuric acid, nickel and cobalt sulfate. And we call it pregnant solution. Why is it called pregnant? In our theory, why is it called pregnant? Yeah, because it has the values in it. Like a child in the mother's womb, diba? It becomes pregnant solution. Now this pregnant solution is fed to another stage called reactor, where we convert the nickel and cobalt into solid again through the introduction of a gas called H2S, hydrogen sulfide. So a reaction will occur, the sulfates becomes sulfides. And since there are two of them, nickel sulfide and cobalt sulfide, we call it in general mixed sulfides. Okay? So you will notice from 1.2% nickel, it becomes 55 to 57% nickel, intermediate product. What happened to the solids after we remove the pregnant solution? The solids goes to the tailings dam. But before they go to the tailings dam, since they are highly acidic, we have to neutralize the acidity. And we use a lot of limestone and slaked lime to do the neutralization. Okay. And then what happens to the air that is depressurized from the autoclave? The air depressurized from the autoclave goes to what they call flush tanks or depressurizing tanks. And then it will go up to prevent any escape of sulfuric acid mist. Mist, really gas, because the boiling point of sulfuric acid is 330 degrees centigrade. We are only operating at 240 degrees centigrade. But there is a possible mechanical escape of acid mist. And we have to trap this acid mist and prevent them from going to the atmosphere. We use in that process demineralized water. So as it goes out to this scrubber, it is made by a shower of demineralized water to trap the possible acid mist and prevent the escape to the atmosphere. What happens to the gas coming from the reactor? Normally, we introduce excess gas to precipitate it, to make sure that there's 100% precipitation of the nickel and cobalt. Any excess gas goes to a scrubber also, because we don't want H2S to get into the environment, because H2S is offensive and toxic. It is what we call similar, the odor is similar to rotten egg. Okay? That can cause people to collapse and maybe leading to death. So we have to let them pass through a scrubber, and then at the scrubber, a shower of sodium hydroxide or caustic soda meets the upcoming gas, and a reaction occurs. Okay? The gaseous H2S becomes a liquid sodium hydrosulfide, sodium HS2. Okay? From H2S, naging sodium hydrosulfide. So it prevents the escape of the H2S because of the sodium hydroxide. And it is returned to the circuit for use as another precipitant. Okay? Therefore, if we want to be called responsible mining or 3 mineral processing operations, we need to prepare 3 major programs that I have mentioned earlier. Okay? What are these programs? Program? No, what are these programs? Hindi, nakasulat na doon. Environmental Protection and Enhancement Program. To make sure that the environment is continuously protected from the dangers or from threats coming from our operation. Second, I will ask a lady. Lady, please. What's the second program?
Social development and management.
Social Development and Management Program. Before 1995, this is the new amended Philippine Mining Law, companies are not required